Now some of you may wonder why I roached her mane. I felt bad doing it, but she got caught. Hello friends, it's Alan here on the farm on Route 66, and I've got to head to Page, Arizona and Tuba City, Arizona for work here in a little bit, but I thought I'd go ahead and introduce you to our registered mares and fillies. Most of you know that we buy and sell and rescue a lot of horses off the reservation, and we get some beautiful horses off the reservation that are really nice horses. But we also raise registered quarter horses, and I feel like we have some of the nicest mares and fillies around, and so I thought I'd introduce you to them today. So come along. Our most famous and favorite registered quarter horse mare that we own is Chipper. And I had someone the other day ask me, what does it mean when you say on the top and the bottom of a pedigree? Well, if any of you have done genealogy work, there's the dad and the mom, and then they're different sides of a pedigree chart. Well, same with horses. A registered quarter horse, I can prove and show who their mom and dad was, their grandma and grandpa, their great grandma and grandpa. I mean, it can go way back. And so Chipper here is a driftwood bred horse. That doesn't mean that driftwood was her dad, but driftwood is way back in the pedigree. She goes back to a horse that my grandpa owned. That's name was Rosewood Chip, and we love anything that's related to Rosewood Chip. She's a 20-year-old mare. She's in foal to 66. She not only is related to driftwood, but also Blondie's Dude. And I'm trying to think if there's any other famous ones in there. We love Chipper. Those of you that have watched our channel know a little bit about her. She's the one we put kids on. She's the one I could rope on. She's the one that can do anything. Now this horse that just walked up behind her, this is Lily. And Lily came to us from Idaho. She's got some gunky stuff in her eyeball. This time of year, sometimes just like people, they get some just kind of goopy eyes, just like humans do when they get a cold or something. But Lily's a beautiful horse. She's bred super nice. One of our YouTube followers couldn't take care of her anymore. It was just too expensive to board her. She's a 15-year-old. She goes back to Pepe San. She's, like I say, 15 years old and never had a foal. And so we thought, let's try to get her in foal. I want to breed her to 66 eventually, but 66 is being loaned out to a friend of mine, and he's taking care of her for the winter. So Lily is just really fitting in well here on the farm. Chipper's always been the dominant horse, but Lily dominates the feed barrel, that's for sure. It's kind of funny. She's got this cool birthmark on her back hip, but she's bred super nice. She's a cutting bred horse. A lot of you have wondered why our horses are so short. Well, we have some foundation quarter horse stuff. Foundation meaning going back to some of the big names, cow horses like Driftwood, like Chipper over there. But then we have Lily, who's a cutting bred horse, and those cutting horses a lot of times are no more than 14.2 hands, and that's about where Lily is, about 14.2, and Chipper's about 14.3. Now those paints walking up there are horses that I got from the Ute reservation. They are not registered horses. So let me show you the next one here. This is Lex. And Lex is one that we've raised here on the farm. She is out of my old stallion that it was out of a sister to Chipper. So she also goes back to Rosewood Chip, which was my grandpa's stallion. She on her mom's side, she goes back to Doc Bar. So Doc Bar and Driftwood. And she's just a awesome horse. She's broke to ride and does real well. If you want to go back and watch a video of Blake pulling some of his friends in the river, that was with Lex. So anyway, she's about 7 years old, and not only is she broke to ride and gentle, she throws some of the prettiest babies around. So like I said, Lex throws the prettiest babies ever. This is Miss 66. She's only 2.5 months old. She was a late foal this year. She's gonna be a red roan. She hasn't even shed off all of her baby hair. That's what's going on her rear end there. That's just baby hair that's still shedding off. But it's late enough in the season, she's also gonna be getting winter hair, so we won't truly know how she's gonna shed off and look until next spring. And I can't wait to see that. I thought I'd sell Miss 66, but I'm tempted to keep her. She's out of my stallion 66. I can show you a picture of him, even though he's not here. And he just throws the nicest babies. And so I'm tempted to keep her, but we'll see. She's 2.5 years old, or 2.5 months old. She's out of Lex right here. And 66 goes back to Pepto-Bismol twice on the top and the bottom. One of you asked, Pepto-Bismol, or are you just misspelling Pepto-Bismol or whatever the stomach medicine? No, Pepto-Bismol was a name of a stallion that was a world champion. So there's 4 of our registered ones right there, here in the front. Now let me go show you these. So, some of you have watched our video about the horse I paid more for than any other horse that I ever have. Here's Penny. And Penny is actually a daughter of 66, my stallion. But he bred a mare here in town, and that family was going to go ahead and sell Penny here, and I thought, you know what, I want to get a daughter of 66 back. I paid $3,500 for her. Some of you may think, well, that's not a ton of money, but for me, that's more than I had ever paid for a horse. And yes, I've sold horses for more than that because I get them trained and marketable, and I'm able to sell them for more than that, but I had never personally bought one for more than that. So Penny goes back to Frenchman's Guy. Those of you that are in the barrel racing world, hey Penny, how are you, girl? Man, you're a gentle thing, aren't you? Those of you that are into barrel racing, she goes back to Frenchman's Guy. I think it was Frenchman's Fabulous is her grandfather, and then her dad is my stallion 66. And so to have one that goes back to Frenchman's Guy and my stallion was a great investment for me, because everyone right now wants. Now some of you may wonder why I roached her mane. I felt bad doing it, but she got cockleburrs all over in her mane so bad that I just didn't know that I could ever get them out. And so I cut it off. I know some of you may be appalled with me, I'm sorry, but that is a mess. Can't feel good to Penny, and it definitely isn't going to be easy to get out. Now Peaches, she doesn't have it as bad in her mane, but check out her tail. So I've got some work to do, but let's get them cleaned up. Well, that looks a lot better. I didn't cut it right here. She's rubbed that off on a fence, but at least all the cockleburrs are out. How many of you have cockleburrs where you're at, and do you have some tricks for getting rid of them? Because I have a lot of good pasture grass, but this can't feel good, and it's going to be a lot of work. Sorry, but she sure felt better, and she's sticking around the farm long enough that it'll grow back long and beautiful again. So, and then here's Peaches. Peaches is the one that I traded for Clementine. Clementine was my bay roan that was out of my old stallion Mister. So she was a half sister to Lex over there. But anyway, now I'm getting real confusing. Peaches here is a daughter of Lex. I had sold her as a weanling, and then at 2 years old, this guy approached me and asked if I'd trade her for Clementine. Clementine was only 2 years old, or I'm sorry, Clementine was only 1 year old. Peaches is 2 years old. Peaches has had a couple rides put on her. She's super gentle, and her sire is also a Pepto-Bismol bred horse. And so it'll be fun when I breed her to 66 eventually. That's what we'll have, that line breeding of Pepto-Bismol on top and bottom, like I've been explaining to you. So in the horse world, a lot of the really nice horses that just outshine the rest have been line bred, meaning they take the genetics on the top and bottom that are similar, and they cross them. Now you can't get them too crossed or whatever, or then it becomes inbreeding. So line breeding and inbreeding are different. You don't want there to be too much of one horse and the genetics of another horse, but to line breed and put some of those same genetics back, it's just a good thing. So this maybe hasn't been the most exciting video, but now you know our registered mares and fillies. Now that just reminded me of something. Back here, Penny is just a yearling, okay? And Peaches is a 2-year-old. So Peaches had been ridden a couple times before I got her, but I've decided she's kind of fine-boned. She's just kind of petite. She's put together nice, but I'm kind of heavy, and I'm trying to lose that weight. But anyway, I've decided just to let her grow up more this winter. We're not going to try to ride her this winter. We're just going to let her get bigger. So we have a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old. I'll turn around here. We have the 2.5-month-old. We have Chipper that's 20 years old. We have Lex that's about 7, and we have Lily that is 15. So those are our registered mares and fillies. Tell us what you think, which one's your favorite, and can't wait to see some babies. We know that Chipper is in fall for sure. We've had her pregnancy tested. I think I saw Lex in heat the other day, so that would mean she's not in fall. But Lily could be in fall, which I'm sure hoping for. We went ahead and bred her to a Perlino stallion, which would produce a Palomino or a buckskin, which would be really fun. And then that would, I just want to make sure she's cycling and able to carry foals, and then I'll breed her back to 66 is what I would love to do. So anyway, have a great day, and let me know what you thought of our registered horses. When I say registered horses, I left out the 2 boys. We have 66, who's about a 6-year-old red roan stallion, and then we have Gold 66, which is just an 18-month-old stallion from the Martin Quarter Horses. So there's our registered quarter horses, and I hope you have a great day.